Greetings, Tony from Old River Hardgoods again. Well, the music you're listening to is Gabriels Reel, my third CD, Angels on Fire. As always, there's a link to the full version and a video I made of myself performing it down there in the description. In today's video, we're kind of a continuation of a theme I started with a video back at the beginning of September, which we look at a number of the flea market finds over the past summer, as well as taking a quick trip around the last day at the Saylorsburg Flea Market, which closed for the season this past Sunday. So, and plus there might be a few little bits of this and that, but who knows, right? Anyways, sit back and enjoy. Well, Sunday was kind of an eclectic day between both flea markets. Well, this and a little of that. So let's take a look. This is a Saboteur, if I'm saying that correctly, although the mark is partial. He was a New York maker of cutlery and leather tools, 1830s, 1870s vintage, and should clean up okay, and I probably have it sold already. Maybe. PS&W, 8-inch outside caliper. Needs a little clean, but not too bad a shape. A 30 caliber pistol mold, round ball and slug. Again, little clean. This is a Sculpture House, Sculpture Associates. I know because that's where the guy I got it from used to work. V-gouge, 60-degree cut on it. Needs a handle, needs a cleaning. 12 stainless steel riffler files for wood carving. I'm going to put these up in the sets because I had to pay some money to get those, but they'll move. Neat little hand-forged crate box hammer. Got a little clean, but that's not too bad. Moving on. A Warren Tool 1982 advertising hammer. It's pretty neat. Might wipe down the handle just real quick, but other than that, I think it weighs like 11 ounces. An Eberly Redding. These are sewing machine needle straightening pliers. There's a little paint on them, but again, they'll clean up good. And it's getting hard to find good examples of these. These were made in Germany for the most part. But if I said it, Eberly made tools and supplies for the sewing machine industry. This one probably won't go anywhere, but it's a neat piece of history. And this is a Roebling Trenton patent alligator wrench. Roebling, if you want to do your Google whatever, was responsible for the invention of wire ropes, wire cable, if I remember correctly, and also helped build the Brooklyn Bridge. Well, he started the construction of it. He died before it was put to bed. A longer perfect handle style screwdriver. Didn't see a maker on it just yet, but I'm sure we can stamp something to make it interesting. A signed little ball peen hammerhead. Blacksmith's square punch, rectangle punch head. Pretty good shape. Needs a little degriming. Just a small little cross-peen hammer, tack hammer head, and a new in the package, Starrett number S1 67C. Got a little grease or whatever on it. Radius gauge set, if you can see all that. New in a package with the holder. So, yeah, pretty decent mixed pile for the day, I'd say. Gonna have to do a voiceover on this because the music playing from the concession stand, or maybe not. Currently, 6:41. People are just starting to put stuff out. It's been kind of slow to develop, but it's the last day of the season here, so I've had good days, I've had bad days. So far, this one's not exactly looking stellar. Got a few things yesterday, but yeah. Doing some with the headlights running. Well, Sunday, June 1st was cool at the flea market. 48 degrees Fahrenheit. Definitely not June weather. But I managed to snag some stuff. I missed a bunch of good stuff, but you'll have this. But anyways, let's take a quick look. Up here is a 7-inch sweet Spofford brace. Unfortunately, it's got this bit lodged in there, and I gave it a couple whacks to try and get it out. It isn't working, so I'm going to have to get a little more crazy with it. 1/8-inch firmer, mortising chisel, sash mortising chisel, needs some work. A PS&W, 3/8 of an inch. A bevel edge firmer, socket needs some work. A really rough gouge, 7/8 inch, I believe. The edge is busted off on it, and so that, again, more work. 1 1/4 inch butcher, not too bad. Somebody else did some cleaning on it. James Swan, somebody did some, I believe it was a dip cleaning, whatever. But that's not too bad. That's 1.5 inches. That will clean up real nice. Don't know who made this. This might be a Craftsman, but it's 1.25 inch bit. Don't see too many big ones around. Got a pair of gimlets, these bell hanger gimlets, as they're called, these long ones. I really need to do a gimlet video. I keep thinking about it and never get around to it. Got a Matheson, Scotland. Cabinet maker's turn screw, definitely needs some work. A hand-forged reamer. Somebody was using the plant bulbs with, I believe, or is it dibble? Small wooden turn screw. Starrett pen vise set, complete. A Starrett protractor. A pair of engraving tools, add to the pile. And this mortising gauge, which is rosewood and steel. It's got some character, definitely got some roughness to it. But, you know, look at that screw. I mean, that's, wow. I'm not wondering if this is a patented one, but I guess I'm going to have to do some research to find out. So, anyways, that's the first round of this for today's batch of tools. Let me go grab the hammers and we'll get into round 2. In round 2 of the June 1st pickings, got a Hubbard cross-peen hammer. They made tools for the railroads. They're still in business, if I remember correctly. This one feels about 2 pounds. Hand forged. This stuff's called a joiner's hammer, believe it or not. Sometimes you see people put them on upside with the peen sloping to the downside, but normally, as a joiner's hammer, that's the way they should be. Kind of rough, pointed peen hammer. I suspect it was a ball peen that somebody reworked. Could be. Big wooden mallet, number 605. Not a Stanley, obviously. Got some paint, dings, and a couple of tiny checks, but it should clean up okay. It's solid. Hand-forged claw hammer. Somebody did a little cleaning on it. Kind of fugly Cooper's adze. That's going to take some work. I don't know if I'm going to be able to save that handle or not. Another hand forged claw hammer. This one's got a little more character to it, but it kind of came as a set. So, and last, plum 2-ounce ball peen hammer. This will clean up okay. Not too bad. Face don't look too. Face peen look good on the little, like, you know, shop patina. So, anyways, that's it for this round, folks. Well, you see it's light out now. It's a 7:15. Yeah, sorry about dipping the phone like that. But still only some people are starting to set up. There. Not too much in the way of buyers yet, but they'll be out later. It's just us diehards out here that are doing the hard picking right now. Let me tell you, it's hard, but yeah, what are you gonna do, right? Kind of a cloudy day, but yesterday it was like 35 degrees Fahrenheit, frosted. Today is 42, 43, something like that, and it's no wind or nothing, so time to put the phone down and do some digging. Well, it's kind of foggy down at the flea market on a Wednesday. It was like 68 degrees. I mean, the temperature was okay, no wind, but boy, it just foggy. But I managed to grab a few tools, so let's take a look at it. Up top here is a Sigling number 5. All original parts, although somebody did punch their initials into the patterned handle, but you just don't see too many with good handles, and regardless, original blade. Yeah, that'll clean up without too much fuss. A Union number 41, tongue and groove plane. Don't see too many of these around. Same guy I got these from had a number 8 Union plane, but I just didn't feel like fighting with anything that big, and it had a chunk off of the tote, and the blade didn't look all that great, so I figured, leave it for one of the other thieves on the market, which they did grab it. So, but anyways, little cast iron paperweight anvil, small little bag horn or primer horn. Don't see any flaws with it other than the plug, but that could be fixed. Ain't seen too many of those guys around. Kind of a different user-made saw. Light of morning, I thought that might have been rosewood, but kind of looking like oak here. It's just stained. I don't know. We'll clean up and see what it is, but different. Ain't gonna retire on it. Pair of draw knives. Is a Jennings and Griffin, number 9, 9 inches. That one's not too bad. It looks like somebody did some cleaning on these. This one, I don't see a maker's mark, unless it's buried. 8-inch, curved. Kind of looks like a Beatty, but can't be sure. Pexto, 10 bending pliers, number 793. Missing the screws, but those are standard threads, so you could trip to the hardware store to solve that problem, but I'm not going to do it unless I have to make another trip down there. A little rivet set, getting a pile of these, need to clean them up. A Lignum Vitae wood carver's mallet. At least it's lignum or some kind of tropical wood. It's got some pretty good heft to it. A little bit of grain check there, but a couple of dots of paint, but that'll clean up all right. And I'm holding it upside down. Benson and Crenell Albany complex molder. Not too bad a shape. Needs a little, that's an auction lot number, didn't see that, but needs some cleaning, but I don't know what the iron's going to look like when we get there, but yeah, you pay your money, you take your chances sometimes, so hey, not too bad of a load for a Wednesday, foggy Wednesday morning in September. There's Sandy again.
Hello, I'm on Sandy Counter.
Yeah.
What do you do over the winter?
same as I always do. Work.
Look for tools, clean tools.
Yep. Let's try to get a little bit of sunrise there. The back section. I've mentioned it before, but first time I was here was back in summer of 1979. Do the math, boys and girls. It's been a long, long time. Of course, there's a guy does house cleanouts over there with the trailer. You see the swarm? That's just insanity. And they just pick, pull, and pile, and I rarely find anything in those, from those guys, but yeah. But it's time to wrap things up for this year. Well, it was a cool morning at the flea market today on Sunday, and I wasn't expecting much because it's kind of the next to last weekend, and things just have been kind of more misses than hits there of late. But I was kind of pleasantly surprised. So this is the first batch of bigger items from one of my usually regular sellers there, but he's been coming up with more hits and misses as well this summer, but managed to pull up a few decent things. So starting off, that's a General number 1271 ST Arch Punch set. Plastic case is a little banged up. Punch has got a little dew staining on them, but they're all good to go. And yeah, you can buy them new, but I can be selling them for a new price. This one's nice. A Sandvik, Swedish, number 277, 12-point crosscut saw, 22-inch blade. I checked; it should be able to ship out under the full overcharge rate. Got the paper there. So it's got a couple of tiny dings and a little stain, but yeah, I mean this guy's super nice. And this, the little rust stain on the blade back there, big deal. Tell you what, that's a top quality saw. And last, Miller Falls, number 502 corner brace. Don't know if I'm going to clean it or sell it as is, or maybe do just a little detailing on it, but everything works. And hey, you don't see too many around. Usually when I see them, they're on the dead and dying pile. So this was round one of the picks. Stay tuned for more. Well, my last purchase of the day here is a roll of bubble wrap from the one guy who sells it. I'm getting low with the working one I got, and I got a couple in stock over in the storage unit, but it's just easier to stay ahead with this stuff because you never know when you're going to need it, right? But this guy's starting to pretty up a bit. Fixing to head over to the Saylorsburg Market and call it a day, but this has been pretty much it for the last day here at Saylorsburg. We'll walk back over here one more time. Give it a feel. And here we got round two. Now I was walking around in the dark, and up ahead I see a swarm. That's where a seller's must have just dumped a bunch of good stuff, and there's like people all over the place. So I hobble on up over there and start rooting and grabbing, and most of the stuff came from that guy. I missed a few things, but I got 71 Rider plane that was really fugly, but still, for what he was asking for, it would have been worth the aggravation. But anyways, I managed to do okay. So let's take a look. Reproduction tomahawk head, forged, not too bad. That'll clean up. Corner chisel, got a little patina on it. The socket's got some carnage. It'll need to be addressed, but ain't seen too many of those. Small straight peen hammer. These would be depainted and good stuff. This is one of the newer Stanley 60.5 low angle adjustable mount block planes. Again, clean job. Brooks handle screwdriver, one of the German models. About 7-8 inches, I guess. Ask your wife. Anyways, little inside-outside caliper. These are always fun. These are a little clean. Pair Stanley number 49s, if I'm remembering correctly. Another 430 wake-up, so I'm not firing on all cylinders. Really clean. That's one of the newer ones. This is one with the patents on it. Again, hardly used. Not so hardly used for these points. I believe they're for the Starrett dividers, the extension dividers. They're pretty banged up, beat up, so they were used for something else. But, if you need them, you can never find them. Another Starrett needs some cleaning. This is 3-inch Fay pattern outside caliper with the quick set nut. Pair of Stanley number 4 camel points. There are actually 2 more sets of these in that pile, but somebody else got to them before I did. Grrr. Neat little small draw knife. Not much blade left, but hand forged. And, kind of cute. Stanley number 59. Dowel bit guide. Yeah, dowel gig. Whatever. Anyways, somebody's added some washers there. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4 of the collets. This piece here is loose. I'm going to have to do a little peening on that. And I thought this was one of the Argobit depth stops, but no, it turns out it's another one of these guys. So, depending on how forward that one is, I might do a little bit to switch it out. And last, pair of Starrett number 111. Framing square guides. This need a little TLC, but I got the left and the right. Because over in the pile, I got 2 rights and no lefts. So, you'll have this. But anyways, for a cold Sunday morning in October, not too shabby. Well, here we are on the Cocotown Road, heading Saylorsburg over to Orangeburg. They turned out kind of nice. You can see we're getting to the end of the fall season. The trees are colored, shedding their leaves for the most part. Another week or so, or good solid rain and wind, and they'll be all gone. So, but you'll have this. So, anyways, I'm just going to keep on rolling here while you enjoy just a little bit of what I get to see every week. The farms, the hills, and the valleys. Well, today was the last Saturday at Saylorsburg. Tomorrow's the last day of the season. And it was cold, like 38 degrees. I mean, no wind. Sun was shining, but it was still cold. And there were a few vendors, but managed to grab a couple goodies. So let's take a look. Pair of oddball tongs. Jaws are hollow and toothed on the sides. Not sure what that's all about, but I guess we'll figure something out. And Auburn tool, number 4, round plane. Need some cleaning, of course. A nice Henry Distant & Sons saw sharpening vise. Somebody may have repainted it, but that is right fine by me. A Stanley, number 59, dowel jig. Looks like most of the cylinders are there. The guides are there. I think there's 6 of them. They need a little cleaning. The tool itself is fine. That's the depth stop. The box is a bit on the rough side and water stained, damaged, but, it's a box. Anyways, Got this lath or shingle hatchet. It is signed, but I just cannot read it. I tried and tried, but base is a little banged up. Handle suspect. Little jeweler's piercing saw. Didn't see a maker's mark, but that'll clean up just fine. And last, I have no idea what this is for. It's a little brass horseshoe, right? But it's 2 pieces. Those are actually bolts holding this thing on. Got a little nib back there, and these things here are kind of on the sharp side, or not all sharp, but you know, almost like screwdriver sharp. But I had no clue on that one. That one will be fun. So, anyways, you know, it's not the best pile, but it's better than no pile at all, as I'm fond of saying. Cocoa down. Well, that's all for this one, folks. I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed my little video. And if you like what you're seeing, please hit that subscribe button to be notified when new videos are posted. As always, thanks for watching, and bye.